Well, hello there, and welcome to our brilliant ruin here on Dork Tales. I'm your Game Master, Kelly. I'm very excited to be here tonight as we explore this fantastic new game from Studio Hermitage. Folks, this is one that we've been very excited about for a while, and it's been a fantastic secret that we've been holding on to for a while, that we get to do this fantastic game. It's going to be an awesome adventure into this existential nightmare world that they've created for us. So, before we begin, though, I think we should go around, introduce ourselves for you, and let you know a little bit about us and who we are playing tonight. As I said before, I'm your Game Master, Kelly. I use he and him as my pronouns, and I'm playing just about everybody in this system. In our brilliant ruin, I don't have to roll any dice, though, so I'm going to leave that to all my players. So any harm that comes to them is going to be strictly brought about by themselves, which I love. I love these kind of games. I'm very excited to be playing this, and I hope you are going to enjoy what we have in store for you. Without further ado, let's go around and tell me who you are, tell me who you're playing, and then when that's done, we'll give you a little outline of what the game's about, and then we're going to jump into it. Let's start with Jen.
Oh, I get to be first this time,
Get to
as
be
befits
first.
a lady, of course.
As befits.
I am Jen, and I use she, her pronouns. I was going to say I am Lady Moira, and I'm getting into character already. Here we go. Right, acting. To take a line from Orange Heroes. I will be playing Lady Moira Astus-Willough from the Astus-Willough family. I think that's how you pronounce it. I don't know. But
It is now.
I'm an aristocrat, which is awesome. I'm rich and wealthy. Both rich and wealthy.
I'm rich, bitch. That's your superpower.
Right?
All right. Jen is also the brilliant mind behind the Paradox of Mage the Ascension podcast. So if you are a fan of Mage the Ascension, you should go check out that podcast right now, wherever you get your podcasts. Next to you, we have another podcaster in the form of Cal.
In the form of me, for now. Hello, everyone. My name is Cal. I use he, him pronouns, and I'm excited to be here tonight. I'm playing Willard, Astus-Willough, cousin to Jen's character. We'll remind everybody of that. And Willard is like fourth born or fifth born or something. So, you know, they fly under the radar a little bit, but they're a bit of a research and kind of like science-y type that's looking into the ruin and its effects and how they can change it or shape it. So that'll be interesting.
That will be very interesting. Also interesting is the person that we have beneath you. Oh, sorry, I forgot to say that podcasting, they can find you over on the Lasercomb Podcast Network.
Look at you. Thank you. You introduced me like that, and I forgot to say it. Yeah, the Lasercomb Network, lots of different stuff. Basically, if you like 90s cartoons, like we just did Gargoyles, go find us on that. If you like Transformers, find me on Too Much Energon.
All right. Down beneath you, we have someone with just enough energon. It's Robin.
Hi, Robin could use a little more energon if I'm gonna be totally honest, because I am just fighting off a little bit of the vid right now. And my driver got lost in the snow for pizza, so I am pizza-less and needing some foods. But I am excited to be here. I am Robin. I use she, her pronouns, and I am playing LJ Bartlett, a true folk plumber who is a part of the Rivet and Bellows Guild, who is like a very kind, caring person who just wants to do their job well. And I'm excited to play LJ with their trusty wrench Jerry, which I have with me right now.
Which might be an acronym.
Might be.
Might be. You got to come up with a really cool acronym for what that is.
Oh, God.
You can find Robin all over Dork Tales, and you can also find Robin where she streams on her own channel. Second Gen.
Oh yeah, I've been streaming Blood Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines a little bit.
Nice.
And I should get back into that.
All right, speaking of getting back into it, let's wrap up with the amazing artist of the hour, the one who's responsible for all of the gorgeous character sheets you see directly beneath me, all of these overlays that you're seeing right here. That is Michael.
Hi everyone, it's me, Michael, going with he, him pronouns, and tonight I'm going to be playing Faustus Renald, the ever-vigilant chauffeur for the upper crusts, and hopefully we'll get where we need to go promptly and swiftly, and hopefully there won't be too many bugs on the windshield, because I'll have to take care of those.
They'll be positively ruined. All right, so folks, what is Our Brilliant Ruin? Our Brilliant Ruin is a new game that is live on Kickstarter now from Studio Hermitage. Quick note, this game is a sponsored game, so we are going to be very positive about this, but I'm going to be honest, I was excited about this game from the moment that I saw it. Its creative team is one that they've been making games that I've been playing for the past 2 decades. I'm really, really excited about this one. So, basically, it's a game set in a world not terribly unlike ours, except that this world kind of is around somewhere between the late 1800s, early 1900s. Think of the range between the late Edwardian era and like the Great Gatsby. Light from a distant star, a dead star, has irradiated this world, casting it into ruin. In fact, the radiation of this, called the ruin, warps metal and people alike. It destroyed the civilization that was here, bringing humanity almost to its knees. And in fact, the world is probably not long for this world, and humanity will soon vanish. However, there are still holdouts. And the Dramark, the area that humanity still exists, they have managed to limp along. In spite of this, fighting off these strange, ruined, mutated creatures, fighting off the madness that this creates, and trying to build a new society, well, or at least to perpetuate what remnants of the old one still can persist. It involves 3 major factions. The aristocracy, who are the remnants of the old royals, the true folk, who are the ones who actually get stuff done, and, of course, the opposition, the unbonded, who are particularly defiant, we'll say. We do not have any of those in this session, but that doesn't mean you can't play them. They are a fantastic way to kind of tear the system down and break it apart. In the Dramark, there is a sense of doom everywhere. The world is probably coming to an end. We might as well enjoy it while we can. The ruin is corrupting everything, and there's only usually 3 ways of getting rid of something that is ruined. That is massive physical violence, usually fixes most problems, fire, or alcohol. In fact, it's a great way to tell whether or not someone's a vampire by seeing if they have a glass of wine at a party. So, Robin, as a vinter, you would probably, as a winologist, you would probably be very useful in this world.
Basically a vampire hunter.
Basically a vampire
I'm
hunter.
a vampire hunter. Yes.
Instead of holy water, you splash
I'm a
wine on
vampire,
them.
so that's great. This game's really cool, guys. I'm really excited about this. Social acumen and social social maneuvering is really big in this one, but there's also like that slightly like Call of Cthulhu vibe to it. It's got a lot of the Dishonored vibe from the game Dishonored.
I immediately thought of Dishonored. Right? Yeah.
It looks so good, and I'm really excited to get into this. The system is a brand new one. It is very reminiscent in many ways of, say, the Free League Alien system. Reminds me a lot of Blades in the Dark and other Powered by the Apocalypse games, sort of, mostly the Forged in the Dark games, but it is its own unique beast. A couple of things that you should know about before we begin. Characters do not have traditional stats. There is no strength, there is no dexterity, there is no stamina, there is no constitution, none of that. Instead, your attributes are derived directly from your personality. Now, originally when I looked at this, I was a little confused. I wasn't sure exactly how that would translate into play, but the more I read it and the more I get ready for this session, the more I have become very excited about that. Because who has not been in a game where they have thought, I feel like my character would be able to do this because of who they are, more than what they are. And that's where these attributes come into play, because the attributes in Our Brilliant Ruin are based on personality. They are based on audacity, benevolence, cunning, decorum, defiance, loyalty, ingenuity, obsession, and sensitivity. Each of these personality traits give you something different. Someone who is audacious has ambition, self-confidence, and vanity, whereas someone who is defiant is very prone to opposition, rebellion, individualism. Someone who punches someone in the face audaciously does it differently than someone who does it out of loyalty, right? And it wasn't until I saw loyalty on the sheet or decorum on the sheet that I really understood what could be done with this system. That you could have someone who stands against all odds, like Batman's butler Alfred, using loyalty and decorum to take down supervillains to protect his master. Whereas he may not be potentially very physically imposing, he has that cornerstone of loyalty to draw upon. That is really cool. And I really like this. Skills, you're going to usually pair these with skills. It's going to be a personality trait often, plus a skill to create a dice pool. You are rolling d6s, a number of points equal to those two things combined. You're looking for 6s. 1s are bad. You're going to be rolling crafts, express, which is your ability to express. It's not your speed necessarily. Fight, foster, which is kind of your nurturing and everything from cooking to healing. Intrigue, intuit, observe. So intuit's kind of your gut reaction. Observe is more of your active searching. Physicality, which is basically just, if you had a physical stat, it'd be physicality. And transgress, which is violations of social order. So anything from B&Es to poisoncraft, etc. If it's criminal in nature, that's what you would be doing. Whereas intrigue is more sneaky sneak. There is a thin line between those two, I feel, but we'll feel that out as we go. Besides that, 2 of you are members of the true folk, the working class. True folk each have one skill that is unique to them that your character defines. They always succeed at that because they are amazing. And with that, we have Faustus. You are proficient. Your competency is in drive. So
Beep, beep.
So you are too fast, too furious, as your mustache dictates. And once he crashes it, LJ, you can fix it with your repair skill.
Yeah.
All right.
I gotcha. MacGyver this shit.
MacGyver this shit. So besides that, there are a couple of other things that we're going to touch on real quick. You also have access to what reminds me of World of Darkness backgrounds, a stat called Portfolio. Portfolio is a pool of additional things that you can draw upon to succeed. They're spendable points, and they regenerate at about a rate of 1 a session, unless it's something that you burn out and it doesn't make sense for it to. These are things like access. If you have points of access, you can dictate to me that your name's on the list to get into the club. Okay? Then you can negotiate for your friends to get in, but your name's on there. They know you here. Information. Yeah, you actually know that thing you need. Entourage. You're in a really kind of mid TV show. No, you have friends or animals that can help you. People or animals, I guess. They're both friends. Mentor, you have a well-connected person who looks out for you. Reputation, you're well-known. Title, you have a title of authority or social prominence. For example, Robin, your character LJ has a point of title. That is because you are a named fellow in your guild. So it's basically like you are like a red sealed plumber or whatever it is for plumbers. I don't know plumbing. I'm sorry. You're one of the Mario brothers.
Yahoo!
Yahoo. Tools and equipment. You have items and appliances. Suit. suited to the need of the moment. Wardrobe is my favorite stat in the game because you can spend it just to basically, well, we're going out to a tuxedo party, are we? And then going like, frog swimming in the lake in, frog suits. I've got that too. And then a wealth is money. There's an unfair advantage here because the aristocrats have a maximum of 5 in any portfolio. Everybody else has a max of 3 because they're rich.
Though I will say I don't have any that are at 5 dots.
Not yet.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying I don't start with like a huge advantage because of that.
All right. So when we're rolling, you're rolling for 6s. 1s, if you roll more 1s than 6s, you have done a bad. Successes are called brills in this system. So 6s are brills, 1s are glooms. You can also draw upon passions as you get them. Passion points can be spent to basically expand your successes to 5s and 6s. They give you 2 more dice, as well
2 more
as some
dice,
other.
and 2 more dice and 5s and 6s will be brills.
It's so good. I also love that for this, they have a nice little 1-page, 2-pager that explains all the rules. I love it when systems can do that.
I will add, because we were just talking about this, that with passions, you then mark off on the passion track, and as you build up on the passion track, if you max out or during certain situations where you might be told to, you then have to roll all those marked off boxes as dice, and the only glooms and no effects count. You don't get any brills from them, but you might get more glooms. Yay.
We love to botch here.
We do.
Folks, do you have any other questions before we hop in? All
I
right.
don't think so.
All right. So without further ado, we are going to be jumping in to Fortune's Turn at Crowscroft. This is the starter adventure from the book that you can pick up on Kickstarter right now. If you are watching later on YouTube, check the link down below. That'll take you right to it. You're not going to regret it. It's going to be fantastic, and I hope you enjoy this game.
At the very least, check out their trailer.
Yeah, check out the trailer. It's dope.
That sold me on it.
Right?
I was jealous. I was like, oh, I want to do it on set. I want to do this on set.
It's like a less scary Bloodborne.
Fair.
Almost.
All right. So without further ado, let's head into our brilliant ruin. Episode 1, New in the Neighborhood. We transition over and inside of an automobile. It plods to... I'm sorry, Mike, you need a wheel. There we go. We find ourselves inside of an automobile, plodding down an old country road. There are 4 figures inside of it. One man with a broad mustache sits behind the wheel, elegantly traipsing the pitted roads in this long stretch speedster. The car is, well, not particularly valuable. Not for an aristocrat, but it still stands hands and feet above anything that would be driven inside of the city by those not of substance. There's a woman sitting in the front seat next to him, and a pair of well-appointed aristocratic types in the back, one of which is holding a letter. The letter reads as follows. To my dearest great-niece Moira, I pray this letter finds you well. The weather in Grandhurst is chilly, as is expected at this time of year. As much as I would love to regale you with stories of my most recent affairs and the most illicit gossip amidst the elite, I'm afraid this letter arrives with a purpose and a promise. At my ripened age, I've come to learn that it takes a great deal of self-reflection to separate what one wants out of life and what one needs out of life. For me, such a revelation came to me when I discovered that the quiet comforts and physical benefits of a bucolic country life was still unable to slake my thirst for the excitement and sophistication of Grandhurst. I am uniquely privileged to have been able to make the right choice for myself. And after 18 years, I can say I have not regretted that choice for a single, solitary second. However, I would be remiss were I not to recognize that my station allows me such a luxury, while others, even within my own family, may not be endowed with such means of self-discovery. As such, I hereby bequeath unto you the deed of Crowscroft Manor, near the village of Crowscroft. This generous gift comes with 2 simple provisos. First, you must restore the manor to its previous glory. Crowscroft has laid dormant since my departure nearly 2 decades hence, but I have complete confidence in your ingenuity and capability to restore the building's physical shell and to see to its adequate staffing for resumed operations. Second, and most importantly perhaps, you must re-establish our family's name and reputation within the region. Crowscroft Manor has been a fixture of the countryside since long before our family laid claim to it. But there are many other families in the area whom we should establish a renewed connection and socialization with. Furthermore, any enrichment that can be provided to the common folk through work can only help but raise them up from their stations and into our charity. I expect that you should be able to complete these tasks by year's end. If you cannot, then I shall perhaps be inclined to seek out one of your cousins. Perhaps. And then she writes the worst name possible. Ellsworth. Crowscroft Manor remains under the stewardship of one Maeve Hulme, a butler of the rank of Fellow in the League of the Glove and Key. She has maintained the estate for several years since the retirement of her predecessor, and received a stipend for such duties through arrangements with the League. She has been notified of your arrival, and will be on site to welcome you. Should you need anything at all, I invite you to turn your gaze inward, Moira. You are no mere aristocrat. You are an Astus-Willough. And within you is the authority to reshape the cosmos. If you can summon it, of course. Yours, Great Aunt Valeska Astus-Willough.
What an honor and a privilege, and of course, my rightful inheritance.
Can you please describe yourself, Moira?
Yes. This is the one part I didn't actually think about. She's, tall, blonde. The person I think of, like, mean rich girl, is kind of how I envision her.
Right. So kind of a Regina George type of look?
Yeah, but a little more refined.
Okay, that's fair. So as you are sitting there saying that, holding the letter from your great aunt, there is a man sitting next to you. He does not look terribly like you, but there is some resemblance, particularly in the haughty demeanor, at the very least. Cal, can you please describe what Willard looks like?
Willard is unexceptional in most regards when it comes to eccentricities, but they do try to keep up the Astus-Willough name, so they dress well enough, and they're well enough spoken, and even though I'm not, but they are.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, they kind of have the Sherlock Holmes, but haven't slept in 3 days look to them.
Okay.
And
isn't that just the cowl?
and it's kind of a cow look. to be honest, because I just describe all my characters in different ways as me. And but the one thing they bank on is their cousin, Moira. And it's a little bit more than just riding her coattails. If she succeeds, he succeeds, and then he can go about studying the ruin and perhaps finding his niche. And he's reading the letter, assuming that Moira hands it over to him, and Ellsworth.
Ugh, don't speak that name in my presence.
Well, they made a point of mentioning them. Insult to injury.
Yes, as a threat. As a threat if we can't do this.
Fixing the manor, so they want you to paint and re-brick?
Or hire someone to do so.
And as you say that...
I'm not going to be painting.
And as you say that, we pan to the front seat, where sitting next to Faustus is, of course, someone who is there to help you do this labor. Someone who's been in your employ for at least the past better part of a decade. LJ. Robin, tell us a little about what LJ looks like.
All right, so what you're going to notice about LJ, LJ is pretty like short-ish for a woman. She's probably like 5'4", 5'3" maybe, but she is built. She is stocky. She is built. She looks like she lifts and works with a tool. She looks like she looks in the trade. She has dirt covering her face or grease, such whatever from previous jobs. Has light kind of pink hair, and is with her trusty goggles and her wrench Jerry, and she wears like a basic shirt and like a vest and has a bunch of pockets and a big kind of billowy-ish pants that have lots of, and a tool belt with all of her various tools in it. That the tool belt's probably off beside her in the seat with the car, but she always comes prepared for many jobs. So yeah, she's a short, stocky woman that definitely looks like she has earned her spot, and she has a very kind face. She kind of, I would imagine, has a very like round cheeks from smiling so much, and just very bright, kind eyes.
Okay. And as you were listening to them talk about all the manner of repairs that's likely going to need to be done to this country estate, your tool belt's next to you. It vibrates as you hit a pothole and begins kind of shaking over, where we'll pan over and see the hip and then up the leather jacket of the driver. Mike, please describe Faustus.
Faustus is not particularly large. In fact, he's kind of sunk a little lower in the seat than most would probably expect him to be. Hands higher up on the wheels than probably anyone feels comfortable with. But he holds on to it expertly. With his kind of gingery hair and outrageous mustache and a little oversized nose, he's obviously a character, even from a distance, but he's even double so up close. The entire time everyone's speaking, his eyes are darting into the rear view mirror, looking less at the landscape behind them and more at the conversation as it goes on. His ears might be covered, but they're always open. And he's absorbing all the information of those around him. He's probably humming lightly, because here there's really nothing to listen to besides conversation and the potholes and crunches of rocks in the road. And his song is something very true folkish, which may not be to the likings of those in the back seat, but he keeps it down in volume.
Perfect. All right. Is there anything?
Keep it very, very careful. There's some more bumps in the road. I don't want to be doing too much veering, so if you could just hold on tight.
Oh, very well. Hold on tight to something.
Honestly, I think I got out my any extra cricks in my back right here. It's like a free massage or something. Oh,
Look out, bump.
Oh.
As you drive.
So this is the first time you've seen this place, Mister?
Not since we were children, I believe.
It is new roads for me. I'm sorry. I don't usually drive this direction.
It's all right. It's new for all of us.
And as you're driving, looking
I
out
could
the
slow down a
windows,
little.
you pass by what is the outskirts of the village. The one that bears the same name as the manor. And as you look out, you can see that the village of Crowscroft is... there's barely anything there. The buildings that still exist are wooden structures built into old stone bases with ancient bits of ivy wrapped around the side. In the distance, you can see that once upon a time there might have been a train line that came through here. But now it looks like the landscape is a filleted fish. The bones stripped from it, all of the metal torn up or dissolved by the ruin. In the distance, you can see a couple of farmers making their way down the road past you, dragging a sickly-looking cow with them. Are you heading straight to Crowscroft?
I think that's what I would have asked for, whether Faustus does or not.
All right.
I am taking this scenic route.
All right. So, taking the scenic route, you are going to see that there is another car. Now, Faustus, you are the chauffeur. I want you to describe the vehicle that you're in right now. It may not belong to you per se, but it is your baby. So I'm going to give you control over that. Anybody who wants to add any little garnishes to it may, but Mike, it's your baby. Describe him.
It's somewhat almost, some would say, low-class royalty. The insides have an obscene amount of tassels and all sorts of material dangling in places that have no right to be having material and tassels dangling from. There's a very cushy seats. They're probably a rich velour with multiple pillows. You'd think this was somebody's waiting room for somewhere expensive, and it's just the inside of a car. Faustus probably spends an obscene amount of time cleaning out every speck of dirt, and likely every time anyone enters and leaves, looks for an opportunity to get back in there with a small little brush and a little dustpan to clean out anything resembling dirt or leaves or twigs. Yuck. The engine is kept in fairly good shape, even though Faustus doesn't really know that much about what goes on under the hood. But every time he opens it up and looks under there, at least he can keep it nice and sparkly clean.
Fantastic. Is there anything else about the setting that anybody needs to describe?
I just wanted to add that maybe on the outside, you know how diplomats have little flags of the
Yes.
country? It has like the Astus-Willough crest on little
beautiful.
flags.
Yes.
As you were driving
I-
by, oh, please.
Oh, I was gonna say, I think that's because I think Alder probably does a couple repairs on the. It's like it's plumbing. It's very similar to plumbing a house, right?
Actually,
There's-
most vehicles.
There's obscene tailpipes all over the thing, probably like 5 or 6 of them up each
Clean up
side.
the pipes.
Well, because metal is in such scarce supply, most vehicles are either electric or coal powered or steam powered or some weird type of hydrofusion power. So this may be just pipe based.
Yep. That's true. So yeah, LJ, with their affinity for repairing shit, probably works on this car a little bit too, and just it makes it go. So all of the pipes are like stamped with like the Rivet and Bellows union on there, and there's like a powered by our R&BU on the like a bumper sticker on the back, just get that branding advertising out there.
Perfect. As you were driving along, skirting the edge of Crowscroft Village, all of you are going to notice that there's another vehicle, quite a nice one. This one, unlike yours, is silver. False silver, of course. Real silver, even necessarily silver paint, any type of flecking at all, would be far too valuable and would have been seized up during the riots. We're not going to talk about those in the previous generation. However, it is a beautiful silvery white color. The closest thing to say it is more like a stretch Rolls Royce mixed with a combination of a Model A. And as you are looking at it, you're going to see that it also has a crest in it. Anyone who wants to look at that and try to piece what it is, I'll let you make a roll. So, this is going to be an observe roll. But because this game, there is no right or wrong roll, what do you think this would be, Jen, for you? Do you think this would be obsession? Do you think this would be decorum?
I was thinking decorum.
Okay.
And I was hoping that I could maybe use intuit, because if my family was out here, I might be able to, even if I can't truly see what it is, I might be able to see bits and pieces of it to figure out which families out here there are.
I'll allow that. So you can go ahead and assemble that pool. So how many dots do you have?
I have 5 total.
Okay, so you're looking for 6s. Anyone else want to make this roll?
Would decorum potentially? Okay.
If you know the noble houses, you've served them for quite a while. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, cool. I'll use decorum and observe. I have that.
That sounds good. So go ahead and make that roll. Tell me if either of you succeed. How many brills
I
you
got
get?
one brill.
Okay.
I got a gloom.
Did you just... Okay.
Just a gloom.
Just a gloom.
Just a gloom.
Okay, so that, for anybody who is outside of this, basically is the equivalent of a botch in other systems. So that's a catastrophe. God, how do you do a catastrophe here? I know exactly what it's going to be.
Oh no.
So as you are looking out the window, you are going to be able to see Moira looking out. That isn't that the symbol of the Amsdel? The Countess of Amsdel? That crest seems so familiar. You go to look, and seeing your eagerness, LJ goes and looks at the car as well and goes, wow, that's really... and puts her hand out to get some leverage and grabs the wheel from Faustus. Just enough that suddenly, BAM! The car jumps into a ditch and you hear a cataclysmic pop as the tire ruptures through no fault of Faustus's.
Oh no! What have you done?
Oh,
Oh,
Oh, oh,
mm,
um,
oh.
just was, my bad there. I'll just, put that,
Fix
put
it?
that back together. Yep, I'll go got that. LJ will
Fix it,
jump
you're
out
better
of the
at that.
car.
All right.
oh, my lord, my lady. I'm so sorry. I was not expecting this. Perhaps we could.
I-
I'll get out and fix it, shall I?
Yes, you'd better do that. Oh, cousin.
Faustus will jump out too.
All right. Hopping out
Think-
into the forest path outside. Yes, my good friend.
I was going to say, how nice of Faustus to pretend that he could help with the engine. I don't wish to leave you alone, but I do know how these models work. Should I? You hold on to my jacket while I go and help LJ.
Continue acting like this, and we might have to downgrade you from aristocracy. But
Oh,
Carry on.
perhaps you'd like to spend an hour in the ditch.
I would rather not spend an hour in the ditch. So please hand me your jacket and indulge you in your hobbies.
Indulging in the hobbies.
Moira is going to stay in the back seat, or like in the back of the car, not going to let anybody see her face, and is going to like reread the letter while other people fix this problem.
Sounds good. I have shared the letter in our private chat, so
Yes,
you
I
can
did see.
review it for details.
Thank you.
Perfect. Okay. So, taking a step out and looking at the horrible situation at hand, you were going to see that you not only hit a pothole, but it was a pothole strewn with just broken rocks. One of them punctured the edge of your tire, and not only that, the rim is a bit bent. However, that's not the worst part of it, even. As you're looking at it, you're going to notice that the engine itself is making a bit of a kind of slapping noise. More like a kind of noise. I'm only doing that once because that hurts.
It's
no,
easier
but-
if you grab the cheek and
Oh, fair. No, it's not the right noise. It's not the right noise, unfortunately. But you get
I
my
just
point.
wanted to
my
make you do that
goodness.
noise.
You should watch the episodes where I have to play bullywugs. That's my noise. Occasionally, you will hear from the internal system a little bit of I had it nearby. Okay. So there is the juk inside of the engine. What do you do first?
Can I spend a portfolio to have the right tools and equipment to then use my special skill to repair
Absolutely.
the engine?
You can totally
Faustus
spend
is
that.
already at the back, opening up the trunk and pulling out all sorts of luggage, etc. Probably not
Perfect.
having a clue as to what the hell is actually needed in this situation.
Popping open the engine, you're going to... Inside, you're going to see an incredibly complex series of gears, levers, pistons, pulleys, and one broken, snapped belt.
Oh,
Oh, that's not good then. Oh.
There are a couple of ways you might be able to fix this.
Yeah, do we have a belt or anything back there? Faustus? Do you have any spare belts?
let
Are
me-
you spending a point of
Have-
portfolio to have that belt back there?
Yeah.
Okay. Faustus, there are, in fact, a few spare parts back there, one of which is a pristine engine belt.
Faustus immediately buries it under other tools. Is it one of these?
That's a screwdriver.
That's a
No.
spoon, Faustus.
I'm not sure why we have a spoon back here. How about this one?
That is a rubber
Well,
chicken.
That is also another spoon. Why do you have so
What?
many spoons in the toolbox?
Why do-
I'll grab it.
Yeah, you're just looking for one, like just one of these, and LJ's gonna start already grabbing in the engine and like unthreading the belt from the conveyor.
Oh, here it is. The one that looks like a belt.
Yeah, that's the
Oh.
one.
That would make sense.
All right, now that we've established what a belt looks like, why don't you bring it back over here? I've got this one unthreaded. Perfect. All right, just let me get in there. Clang, 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 clang. Right. Oh, come on, that was just get in there, you.
It looks like it's fixed.
Beautiful. All right. Sorry, girl. We will get you back up and running, and I will not get too exuberant at the windows anymore. Oof. Close the
Faustus,
hood.
didn't this model come with a flux capacitor? I couldn't help but notice the lack of the flux capacitor in the engine.
We used to have it, but we had to trade it in. The flux wasn't fluxing.
Well, she's closed the bonnet, so I suppose we should be on our way.
Look at all the dirt at the side. Horrendous.
I'm sure they have a good washing station. I'll give you a hand with that as well. Yeah. Sorry about that. I do fancy flags, crests. I'm klutzy, apparently.
As you're saying that, we're going to look over LJ's shoulder. And she's just fitting the spare wheel out of the trunk onto this. The jack took no time to set up at all. She's such an old hat at using any type of hydraulic device. However, we are going to cut over her shoulder where you see a silver car slowly pulling up behind her. It's creeping almost silently down the road, and now is nearly bumper to bumper with yours. The car is going to creep up, and the window is going to roll down. A woman right at the edge of matronhood, in her late 40s, perfect makeup, aristocratic clothing, hair that is raven black but streaked with little rivers of silver, is going to lean out. Jen, Lady Moira is going to immediately recognize this as the Countess of Amsdale, although her actual name you're not quite sure of with that role. Unless you want to spend any portfolio to have just known it.
I don't know if I want to use the ones that might even apply.
That sounds good. She pulls up alongside. Oh, yes, Cal.
While Willard is still outside, putting on his hat back on. The way portfolio works is we can access it once per session.
Yes.
Or for the number of dots.
Yeah, so basically one per dot, usually. Unless something requires
so
multiple
if I had
dots.
Okay, so could I, if I have 3 dots in information,
Yeah, you
could I
spend a
know
point
who this is for a point
of information? Absolutely.
Yeah, I will as I approach the vehicle to get a better look.
So this is Fidelia Valgrieve, the unmarried 5th Countess of Amsdale. She is dedicated to her family and her children, and is an aristocrat, but is kind of known for having a slight, you wouldn't guess it. She totally looks like she's got that type of like aristocratic tradwife vibe, but she's got a real cosmopolitan streak that people don't talk about too much. And in the back seat with her as well, you are going to recognize her daughter, who is slightly younger than Willard, Tessa Valgrieve. They are both dressed for a simple social outing. One where they would be seen among common folk, but wouldn't need to dazzle too much. They're wearing their inexpensive gems today. The ones that can only buy cottage, not a house. And as they pull up alongside, she will lean out the window. What do you say?
Oh, Lady Valgrieve.
Oh, yes.
Pardon my rough appearance for the moment. I hope that we haven't caused your outing any distress.
Oh, of course not. I just saw that there was another motorist in distress and thought myself and my daughter should come and investigate. Bruno, do they need any help? Do you need any help? My valet Bruno is very, very good with mechanics.
Oh, I appreciate the offer, but we've had help with us as well, and they have the problem fixed already.
See. Are you Astus-Willough's? I recognize your crest, although I've not seen this model of automobile.
Yes, I'm Willard, and I'm with my cousin, Lady Moira.
Lady Moira.
This is a very odd first meeting, but perhaps I could arrange the lady to meet with you and exchange a better introduction.
Of course. Any time would be acceptable, but here. Please. Tessa. The daughter is going to suddenly snap to attention, having watched you, much like a carbon copy of her mother. Just younger, prettier, her skin glowing with the radiance of her early 20s. Her hair jet black and curled on top of her head in a pile of rivulets. She looks at you and jolts back to attention, reaching into a clutch and pulling out a small calling card. She demurs. Mr. Willard. And as she passes it forward to you, can you make me a roll, please? I want you to make me an observe roll. But I would say my choice for this would be decorum and observe. But it could be another personality if you think it would be about noticing details on this card.
Cunning, perhaps?
Perhaps cunning would work, yes.
Cunning and observe.
Sure, give me that
Observe
roll.
is like one of the only skills I have taught in.
Oh,
Can
good,
I
I'm glad.
tippy toe and look over her shoulder?
Yes, you may. You absolutely can.
All right. I have a 1 Brill and 1 Gloom.
Okay, it only matters
And
if the glooms outrank the brills.
That is right. So I have 1 of each, so that I think that's a success.
Okay, that sounds good. And Mike, what'd you get?
We're doing cunning and observe because I have 3 in each, so I'm rolling 6 dice.
Do it.
Oh, damn.
Yes, and I happen to roll a brill.
Perfect.
Oh,
So you will see that this is a gold embroidered calling card. Lovely. It even has a watermark. And as it is passed over to you, she is going to just gently bend one of the edges by mistake. However, in aristocratic circles, the way that she bends it, as such, the bottom right corner, if you're facing it, bent up in a specific way at a specific angle, implies a note of flirtation. There is actually something in the book where they talk about how your calling cards can be adjusted, folded, bent, ruffled in order to pass hidden messages along through much of the way the flowers were.
Yeah, flowers, fan language, all that
yeah,
fun
Yep.
stuff.
that's cool.
It's awesome.
Her mother seems to notice as well, but just rolls her eyes back over to the front of your car. You're sure that you don't need a lift?
Well, all good here, ma'am. Thank you very much, though. Appreciate your offer, but just
Of course.
I fixed her right up. My lady.
Astus-Willough. Would you happen to be heading to Crowscroft Manor?
Of course we are.
Oh.
Nothing gets past you, though. I
Well,
am
sir,
told it's a bit of a fixer-upper.
well, it would be good to have a nice family there again. I look forward to having a social call with the lady. She waves toward the back of the car.
I'll wave back.
We'll be talking to each other very soon. Tessa. Oh, yes, sorry. She jolts back inside of the car. Honored Bruno. Yes, ma'am. You'll hear from the front. A tall, dark man with thick mutton chops. It seems like chauffeurs have to have some type of strange facial hair in this county. Begins to drive off down the road, leaving you all in a gentle ankle-deep pile of dirt compared to what it could have plumed behind.
Oh, great. We've already met competition.
Should we away, my lord?
I think we shall away.
All right.
And
This seemed
Willard
like
will.
decent enough.
Did you
People.
see the size of the mutton chops on their driver? Faustus,
That was fine.
grow your mustache wider. You mustn't be outdone.
I'll see what I can do.
Thank you. I'm
So-
kidding, by the way.
No, it's canon now.
Mhm.
Mike
Where
has
am
to, between this game and next, Mike has to...
Faustus is going to be proficient in driving and mustaches by the end of this.
Yep.
I will
Mustache
give
art.
you... I will give you a new skill, a new true folk in mustache waxing or barbery.
Bobbery.
You're a barbarian.
Barbary.
Barbary.
Well, you know, I was thinking the drive skill pretty much applies to anything that you can ride. So
You know what? You're too Faustus, too furious,
Faustus.
too furious.
Never make jokes like that when we have company. But also, and he'll put out his fist and
Good night, everybody. All right. You head back into the car, and before long, you are once again plodding down the road. And
Cal, I just want to say that Moira doesn't give Willard back his jacket because he's too dirty.
Take that jacket off, Gal. Take it
Yeah.
off.
take it off.
All right. Soon you find yourself plodding down the road, and very, very shortly, you will find yourself in front of Crowscroft. From a distance, it looks like any other country estate. 2 tall floors rising out of a bucolic countryside. However, looking at it, you can see that, well, it's situated on a sloped hill. Surrounded by acres of meadows and forest, it's an intimate property with an open courtyard and just enough rooms to be considered respectable. But as you approach, the cracks begin to show. Moss has worked its way up along the stone walls, and much of the wood trim has rotted away under the pelting of numerous spring showers. A weed-engulfed cobblestone path leads to the front door. And here, you see what is now your possession. This manor? Villa? Whatever you call it, this is going to be some work. Are you saying anything in the vehicle as you pull up? There is another vehicle present. A real workhorse of an old beater.
Are we expecting anyone else here?
I think Moira's like busy cataloging all of the things that need to be handled and who she might need to hire to handle them.
In the distance, you'll hear a as the front door slams shut, and then a tick, 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 tick of high heels, or well, thick, chunky heels, coming down the front steps, and a woman with a rather cherubic face and kind of short hair, brown and curled down at the bottom, almost like kind of like one of those curled bobs, like from the 60s, dressed in a fairly neat and tidy gray and blue piped dress, is going to head down. She's wearing white gloves and a pair of boots that rises up around her shins. She smiles at you and waves. Hello? And she'll clop, 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 clop over to the side of the car and will knock on the side of the window.
That must be the butler.
Hello?
Hello, it is, we're a little behind. I'm sorry.
Lady Moira? Lord Willard?
Moira's gonna look over at Willard and be like, be a dear and open the door.
Open the door and head out first, and
My lord!
oh,
She'll curtsy for you.
I'm not a lord, but just Willard is fine.
Oh, you're all lords to me.
Moira will extend her hand out and expect to be like,
Oh, so I'm okay to pull you from the car, cousin, but I'm not okay to wear my own jacket. And I'll take her hand and
I can
Hoist
wash
her
my
out.
hand. It's harder to clean this.
Looks like you've had a bit of trouble, you have.
Not much.
Wonderful to meet you, lady. I'm Maeve Hume. Wonderful to meet you. And the rest of your lot as well. Hello, Maeve Hume, member of the League of Glove and Key. Here to maintain this residence to the best of my ability and funding, she says with visible tension in her smile.
So what have you
LJ
been doing
Bartlett.
with family's money?
I have done the. Wonderful to meet you, Miss Bartlett. I have done the best of my ability to keep the structure vertical. Unfortunately,
Is that a bit of is that unchanable?
there is quite a bit beyond the scope of the investment that your family left in the property.
They left something in this?
Well, they left a trust along with the League of the Glove and Key for me to upkeep it, yes. Unfortunately,
Well,
it doesn't... Yes, lady?
We shall have to rectify the lacking nature of the trust.
I think
Very
a little
well,
bit
lady.
of hard work. Yeah, come on, gotta roll up my sleeves. This should be fun.
A Herculean feat. A Herculean feat indeed that you've managed to maintain it even to this extent.
Thank you very much, sir. I took it on from the previous butler, Cogswell. Wonderful man. Unfortunately, a bit blind and a bit better at preparing state dinners than actually keeping up the day-to-days. Can I take any of your luggage? I'm quite fit, actually. Fit as a fiddle.
The bags are in the trunk. Faustus can help you. Is it fit for habitation?
Habitation, yes. Comfort, that is debatable. So, I can show you around and tell you of the places inside that could definitely use a bit of work.
Does she actually look fit? I'm curious.
Honestly, she kind of looks... She looks a bit reedy, but she looks like she's got strong legs.
Well, she actually does look like she's pretty capable.
Honestly, if you give her a look up and down, she looks like almost like she might have had a military background at one point. So she's like pretty athletic built more than anything.
LJ will give the like up and down on her.
Are you with the League of Glove and Key as well?
No, I'm with the Rivet and Bellows Union.
Good, we really could use someone around here adept in laying pipe.
Just call me the pipe layer.
I'll be happy to. All right, and here is the luggage. Please, follow
Faustus
me.
is probably calling out at that moment from the trunk after pulling out a bunch of the luggage. If it means anything, I am in the glove key. Never mind.
Are you, sir? Oh,
I am.
and a chauffeur, no less. Oh, just the man to get us out of danger in a moment's notice. Danger of boredom around here, unfortunately. But fear not, I've done my best to mitigate that in advance, lady. I have taken the liberty of going around and acquiring calling cards and leaving calling cards at neighboring estates, particularly Darton Hall, which is owned, of course, by the Granville Galdparks. Oh, and of course the Valgreaves as well.
Yes, She's gonna look at Willard and be like, we have an appointment with them, not to set time, but...
Oh, that's wonderful. The Valgreaves are most hospitable. I particularly enjoy their daughter, Tessa.
I'm sure.
The boys are a bit much, but they're young. Faustus?
We can't be having any guests here while it looks like this, but hopefully we can make some calls.
Of course. Faustus, I believe it was from my notes.
Yes, Mom.
Yes.
I'd bring the luggage to the entry.
Yes, the entry will be fine. From there, we can move accordingly. I'd love to give you a tour around really quickly so that we could start, I guess, delegating tasks.
Yes. Let's do that.
Smash cut to the sound of a groaning door. Inside, you are going to see that this estate has some significant challenges ahead of you. Wow. If the outside is bad here, the center of this house has an even more rotten core. Drafty, speckled with dust. It's obvious that a single person has done a Sisyphean task of trying to keep this place in check, but Maeve is only one person. And as presentable as she has attempted to make this place, well, there's only so much that can be done. Water stains mar the ceilings and the window casements. Each step on the stairwell leaves a hollow, ghastly groan in its wake. On particularly windy days, she explains, the chimney almost screams. And on top of that, the moment that you step inside, you smell this pervasive odor. It's a mixture of mildew and spoiled vegetables that floats around like a specter, waiting until the moment you become accustomed to it to amplify its intensity, or the moment that it fades away to sneak up upon you like a phantom.
As we've gone in, Moira has, I think, made sure that Willard has like something to write with and like a book or something, and every time she notices something that will need attention, she like taps the book and it's just like write it down kind of thing. I don't know if he's following along with her, but that's what she's doing.
She takes you through the place, and there are several well-appointed bedrooms, a master suite, as well as something almost as large that will serve Willard very well. There are servants' quarters, enough for a full retinue, actually. Some quite comfortable. There are also a few more staterooms if you'd like to give them out to your chauffeur or to LJ. Although what they would do with them, you can't imagine. She takes you around and starts listing off some of the estate's significant challenges. Well, first of all, we don't have any staff. It's unfortunately just me here, and I suppose your two employees here. Well, the cistern is damaged, so it's very wonderful that we have a plumber here. Because without your help, there's simply... well, there's no water. The cistern's been cracked and it will need to be repaired and refilled before we can get any water going in here. Besides that, then
Is that the case of the smell that we're getting?
I think probably. That's been here as long as I've been here, and
Right.
it's probably just age, I imagine.
Yeah, probably. Just the system.
Then-
all right. I can definitely get cracking at that.
But despite how long this place has been largely abandoned, there's no real signs of ruin along any of what little bits of metal remain. So that's something at least. Besides that, there's a damaged cistern, and then the heating system, the boiler needs repairing. Unfortunately, right now, whenever I try to there's not really any water in it. I think it keeps trying to fire. There's a banging noise that happens occasionally, probably from the old pipes. Could be mice or something like that in it, but once the heat's turned back on and the water's flowing through it, I think that'll probably clear the mice problem up immediately. Unfortunately for the mice.
Yeah. Circle knife and all that, right? It's I'll be sure to do quick checks and try and get them out before. I don't want to hurt too many mouses.
I'll leave that to your expertise, LJ.
Oh, it's very dusty in here.
Yes, it is.
I'm sorry, I've tried to do my best to keep it nice and devoid of dust, but it's like the stuff just kind of... It waits just for the moment that I clean to spring out again. My stipend's only enough to keep me here for a couple of days a week. A day and a half, really. But, you said that you were looking to extend such a stipend, Lady Moira?
We will discuss staffing for sure. Yourself and any others we wish to bring on.
Are you saying that you might like to keep me on?
You do know the place.
I do. I do. She swallows thickly, a rosy hue rising to her already blush-caked cheeks.
And you haven't offended me yet.
I
We
shan't.
do need somebody who is as sociable as you. No offense to Faustus, of course, but well, you've already gone through the trouble of acquiring the neighboring estate's cards for us.
Yes, about that. I said that I dropped off cards.
Oh.
I do have a card, of course, from the Valgreaves.
Oh, I have one as well, too.
Oh, you're fast workers. Unfortunately,
Met them on the road.
Oh, that explains why you were a bit held behind. The social engagements do take such precedence.
They do.
Cousin,
Yes.
are you able
cousin.
to stay in the estate with your dust allergies as they are?
Are there rooms that are less dusty or not at all dusty?
Not at all dusty would be a high order, ma'am, but if you would give me the next hour or so, I can make sure the master bedroom is as dust-free as a country estate can be.
Did you have another idea, cousin?
Well, I mean, you have seen how fancy the car was. The seats do fold out.
I think I'll take my chances with the master bedroom.
Then I will take it apart immediately. I did have...
Milady, if I could go to the car, I will go get the equipment, including my whisk, and I can assist with the dust.
That would be
Of course,
absolutely...
you do always keep a very clean vehicle. I would appreciate your assistance.
I'll return as quickly as I can.
Now, I unfortunately have to admit that while I was receiving the Valgraves card, Darton Hall, owned, of course, by the Granville Galdparks, declined to provide one of their own. For anyone in aristocratic circles, you would immediately know this to be a bit of a social slight.
Mm-hmm.
When you wish to socialize, you return a card.
Yep.
It was most likely just because I'm a humble servant and they had no idea when you would be arriving. Something easily remedied. I apologize, though, for being impetuous. I suppose I jumped the gun.
No worries.
I don't know how that's possible when you're as lovely as you are. It could just be that Those from their estate are, for lack of a better word, kind of a dick.
Cousin.
Oh my.
Judge me not on what I say and do, and more on what Lady Moira represents.
You do say things out loud that I cannot.
I can get away with that.
And with that, Maeve will make her departure with you, and we'll go and begin preparing your room, Lady Moira. With that, you will see that you have a couple of objectives that you should probably start working on to get this house in order. For one, you're going to need a staff.
Yeah.
2, that cistern is going to need to be repaired because you can't do anything without water.
Yep, LJ is on the case.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure how you want us to go about getting staff, but I am willing to like just spend a wealth point to make it happen.
So that is one way that you can do this. You can absolutely just throw your money around. Portfolios are super good that way.
Yep. Yep.
So I guess I want to ask you, how do you want to go about this? Do you want to have like an interview montage with various people? Do you want to just like pull up a name generator and say, I take Victor Hill, Isaiah Belfew, and Selena Galway, and they now work for me?
Cousin,
Yes.
are we going for making this presentable as fast as possible so everyone doesn't think that we live in the dumpster down the road? Or are we going for quality over speed?
Now, cousin, you do know that in our circles, appearance is everything.
Okay, so
So we need a gardener.
okay, gardener.
Gardener. Okay, you need a gardener. So, some other things that they suggest. I'm just gonna look at the at the pre-render. So, any well-functioning estate needs a staff, either with Maeve's help or by drawing from their own associates. The player characters can invest as much or as little in this matter as they want. The group may prefer detailed role-playing heavy scenes as they consider individual game master created candidates, or they may choose to abstract the problem solving with dice pools or portfolio. So I like that the adventure is pre-written in a very interesting way. I really like it, actually. No matter what you do, you'll have a tough time keeping their workers if you don't repair the cistern and do something about other things.
Yeah, fair. So I also have 2 points of entourage, which I think
Ooh.
is like 3 people, and I don't know if that includes the 2 other PCs that are here. I don't think it would.
It does not.
Cool.
I'm going to say
So
that it doesn't include anybody who's physical.
Fair. That's what I thought. So, it says in here, you know, in a session 0 or whatever, to kind of talk about expectations and like who these people might be or whatever. But I would like to declare now that I probably have some sort of, or maybe I don't have now, but I would like some sort of like lady in waiting or like a lady's maid. That's the one. That's the one that's for not royalty.
Yes, I'll write this too.
Okay, who's your lady's maid?
We're gonna figure that out, but I want to do that, and then I think just like 2 other staff that are people I know we can call in. Like we weren't gonna bring them on this initial trip, but we can call them in.
That's good. And by the way, the place is wired. It has 2 telephones, one upstairs, one downstairs.
Excellent. Fantastic. But yeah, so I'm willing to spend like both of those to have the people show up at some point. And yeah, lady's maid, probably she probably has to interview for that, and I don't know if I want to necessarily run the scene because
Sounds good.
it requires a lot of like brain power that I don't have tonight.
That's totally fine. So I'm going to ask you 3 questions about this maid real quick.
Cool.
Number 1, Do you have a name in mind?
I do not. We'll just do a random generator.
Okay. Sounds good. So go ahead, just throw the name at me when you click through. Number 2,
Eleanor
what accent?
Doubtfire.
Eleanor Doubtfire. I'll go with Eleanor if you want, or Ella. But what accent does she have?
I think she puts up a like I think she puts on an accent. So she tries to sound posh.
Can you
But-
do a transatlantic?
Can I do a transatlantic? Of course I can do a trans... Damn it, Niles! Of course I can. All right, posh. All right, so and what name are you thinking?
Let's go with her full name is Estella Douglas, but she goes by Stella.
Stella! Anyways.
Stella Douglas. All right, you have a gardener. The gardener's going to be Irish, I've decided. His name is...
Cool.
His name's Oren.
O'Toole.
Oren O'Shea.
All right.
Because that... You can't beat that. He's Irish sounding, because the Irish don't exist in this world, because it's not Earth. But Irish sounding. Okay. So you have a maid, a gardener, and what's the last person you're summoning?
Probably someone to help LJ. So some other like repair person.
All right. Male, female, non-binary, what are we going with? Roll-
Robin, you can pick.
Robin, you can also roll me a d6.
Yep. Male.
Male, sounds good. Boop. And I've got Raymond, Jeff, Scott, Arthur, Riley, Walton, Vern, Hayes, Duke. It's Duke, isn't it?
Sure.
All right. Duke, the handyman.
Yeah, I was gonna offer if Jen put her point into that. I was gonna say I also would be potentially wondering if spending reputation would be able to like call in to the town and basically put out a call for people from my guild to come out and assist with and bring materials to
Well,
help with
actually,
repairing this.
You absolutely can. But as you do that, I would like to run a scene for that, if you wouldn't mind.
Sure.
It's going to take weeks to get this place up and running again. And sure enough, over the first couple of nights, it's slow going. The rest of your retinue, your gardener, Duke the handyman, and your maid, Stella, arrive. Is anyone else using any of their entourage or portfolios to summon people?
If there's a phone, I am more than likely going to try to contact my former mentor, who probably taught me how to drive and is probably looking for employment in similar kind of fields.
Sure. So, who's your mentor?
Edward Newman.
What does Edward Newman do?
He is a scholar. But he is quite up there with all sorts of history and book learning.
Nice. All right. And what does he sound like?
Probably, well, just because I know you can pull it off, Sean Connery.
Done. All right. So we'll jump in with a couple of those quick scenes then. So you call up and immediately get a, hello, who's there?
Hello. It's
Faustus, my boy.
I haven't heard your voice in so long. It's just good to hear from you again.
It's wonderful to hear from you as well, my friend. How you do, boy?
I'm very excited. I have a potential venture for you.
This better be better than the last one.
Yes. I'm sorry. That turned into a bit of a chase for the Holy Grail. I wasn't expecting it to be so convoluted.
It was almost my last crusade.
Well, that's why I'm calling you. I'm hoping that, well, we could really use your assistance. My employer is opening up a new estate, and well, it's in need of your organizational skills.
Tell me more.
I haven't toured the estate, but I know that you helped me when I needed it the most, and got me my job when I first started driving, and ever since then I've perhaps become one of the best. So I know if you come out and
Spare me the exposition, son, and tell me about the job.
we need you to pitch in and help. I'm not entirely sure.
I'm sorry, you're breaking up. I almost it must be the ruin getting to the wires.
I'm sure they can pay.
Oh, I think it's clearing up.
I can definitely have a conversation with them about how much, but it would be good to see you again if you could. Here, allow me to give you the location.
Did you say Crowscroft? By Crowscroft Village?
Yes. See, I knew you would know it.
Of course I know it. Crowscroft Village has a chapter house for the League of Glove and Key. Well,
See, you would be a perfect fit.
Aye. Someone's going to have to smooth down the troubles that you're about to find yourselves in.
So when shall I tell my employer that you'll be attending?
I'll be heading there immediately. As soon as I can catch a bus.
I look forward to seeing you again.
I look forward to seeing you again too, son. I'm going to bring some whiskey with me as well. We can finally toast.
I'll go find some glasses immediately.
By the end of the night, we'll be needing them. See you soon. Ta-ta. And he'll hang up the phone. All right. Edward Newman will be on his way to the estate very soon. Meanwhile,
I will also I'll leave this to the other staff once they arrive, but I'm happy to spend a point of wealth to get like girls from the village to be maids and like
yeah,
stuff like that.
absolutely. So LJ, you're going to be heading into town to get some additional aid and to meet up with Duke when he comes into town, because the bus is of course going to drop him in the village.
Yeah.
So you and Faustus head down there one day, and as you are going to find the local chapter house of the Rivet and Bellows Union Hall, and as well as a small Piedmont Accord press is inside of the village as well. However, your gut is going to pull you toward a bar at the edge of town that is raucous, with the sound of music playing and the sound of a body slapping into the mud outside as a thick-necked brute of about 6 feet 6 inches, grabs this scrawny little round man of about 5'4", shaped more like an egg than a man, and hurls him into the street in front of you. And stay out. He ain't needed around here. It spits on his body and heads back inside. The speakeasy in front of you is blaring with music and raucous life. What do you do?
LJ will immediately take off or like pull out a spare handkerchief from her belt and offer it to the fellow on the ground and be like,
Oh, sorry about that. You okay? I didn't splash you with any mud, did I? The man looks up at you, squinting.
That's all right. I've been knee deep in the west shit right now. Are you okay?
I think they broke my glasses. Hold on. He holds a pair of glasses up. They're not broken at all. And then he puts them up, and one of the lenses goes right out into the mud and breaks.
Oh.
You know what? It's fine. It's fine. I fucked his wife. And his brother's wife. And his sister's wife.
Okay, you're kind of a little bit of a philanderer. Okay, all right.
Oh, sorry. Nice to meet you. Miles Club. He stands and, like, wipes the mud off of his rather striped suit. He looks more like a magician than anything else.
LJ.
LJ. For, you know, Little Juicy?
No, it stands for, let's just not go there.
Well, thank you very much, for helping me out with this. I appreciate it. Look, if you ever need any, anything serviced, I am a man of many talents.
Yeah? What kind of service?
I'm a getter.
Getter?
I get stuff.
Oh.
You're one of the riveters, aren't you?
Yeah. Down with Rivet and Bellows.
Hey, you ever need any special types of pipe? You ever need any special type of stuff? You come to me, I can get them for you at a premium.
Yeah. Yeah, we're trying to rebuild a cistern and get that going. So, if I need anything, I'll be sure to look at Miles. Sorry, what was his
Miles
name?
Club
Miles.
with 2 B's. Which is how you can find me. There's a little meadery on the corner, a little corner shop, little flower shop that does that kind of stuff. It's got 2 B's on the sign, just like my last name.
2 B's. Okay. Well, I'm gonna go take a drink in there because I've not been kicked out yet.
Fair. Well, enjoy it. Pearls is a great place. One of the best, really.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go.
It's a good place. Oh, I hope you have a really nice day. Maybe, I mean, it's no place for me to say, but maybe don't just fuck a bunch of people's wives, then you won't get kicked out of bars.
I mean, I got tired of fucking husbands. He grins and walks off down the street.
If I get anything, I guess it's fine. That's fine. He's fine. He's not a project for you. You can't fix him. It's fine, LJ. Let's just go get a drink.
All right,
And
Faustus,
LJ will head into the bar.
Are you accompanying LJ?
Most likely.
All right. So, having just parked the car in a safe location, you now arrive in time to see this squat man with just like tassely horseshoe hair around the side of his head waddle off into the night. Yes, he is the Danny DeVito of this game, because I have to have a Danny DeVito in every game. It's the law. Okay?
It's the law.
It's the
I love
law.
it.
And I
love
abide
it.
by the law. Or in this system, it is called the Chivalry. Because there is no official
I'm the
law.
trash man.
He's the trash man. He steals trash. All right. Walking into the establishment, you can see that it's a small speakeasy. No, not really a speakeasy. Not like alcohol is anywhere prohibited inside of the Dramark. But here is, it's got that kind of dive bar quality to it. The sound of jazz, or, well, the sound of music being cranked over ceramic keys, the sound of people crooning and drinking. And in the distance, you are going to see the broad, well-muscled and tattooed form of your friend, Duke.
Oh, there he is. I knew I could find you in a bar. Aha, Duke.
Oh, LJ! Well, shucks!
I was like,
Did you grow? He takes a step toward you. He's wearing coveralls, work boots. The sleeves of his coveralls have been long since torn off and re-stitched to kind of look like short
I
sleeves.
mean, I think I've gained an inch or two. You know, I've just been working
right.
out a little bit.
I can see that. Well, hell, let's find out. All right, move over, kid. He's going to slam his arm into one of the rafters holding, into one of the support beams holding up the ceiling. And he's going to go, all right, do it. Do it. Holding his arm out in front of you for chin-ups.
Oh. Yes.
What's your
100%.
physicality score?
Oh, my physicality score is a 1.
Okay, that's enough to do some pull-ups. You can do some pull-ups with a
Nice.
physicality of 1. Just,
Nice.
hell, that's not bad at all. Now, who's this man with this fantastic stash?
Well, I'm being so rude, and I'm taking on your accent now because my brain is tired.
No, it is
I like
okay.
how
I can introduce myself. Hello, my name is Faustus. Faustus Renald.
Faustus Renald, nice to meet you. My name is Duke.
It's a pleasure.
Duke DuPont.
Yes, of course it is. You are probably the largest person in the room, like a duke.
Oh, well, actually, I think that guy's the largest one in the room, the one that just shoveled out that philanderer. You got to watch out. That man, he's trouble from what I hear. But hell, what I hear is this whole thing's trouble.
That's what makes it exciting, no?
No.
What's trouble? What's trouble there?
I overheard somebody talking earlier. They said that you were coming in here, that we were all coming in here to work on the Crowscroft place, right? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, her up there. He gestures, and you're going to see a dark-skinned woman sitting by the bar. Her hair is very curly, kinky, and done in an updo. She has like strings of white pearls wrapping around her throat. She's dressed in this glittering kind of almost like a cocktail singer's dress, and is sitting near the stage where you can see there's like a band just playing on. I was talking to her a little bit ago. And her name's Dixie, and Dixie was saying some weird stuff about this place, the Crowscroft place.
I knew. What's she saying about it?
She was saying the place is that it was haunted. But then she had to do a
Come
set.
on
I didn't
now,
hear
Duke.
much more about it. And then there was this kerfuffle over here with that Eggman guy.
All right. Well, let's go. Let's go have a check because I've been there for a few days. I've seen no ghosts about. Got a broken cistern, some heating that's not working. Nothing about ghosts. The only ghosts are the ghosts of jobs not being done.
Well, maybe you
I'm
can get
pretty
something
sure.
out of her. I don't think I'm her type.
All right. Let's give some of the charm then.
Where are you gonna find that?
I figured I'd just flash my smile.
Don't worry, she brings me too.
Yeah, I've got him.
Maybe
the
use his
Mustang.
smile and use something lower.
My wrench? I don't think I want to bang her over the head with my wrench.
You were so close. All right, good luck.
And LJ will make her way over to the bar ferry.
All right, heading over to the bar, you're going to see that there's this statuesque. Honestly, she's absolutely gorgeous. And in the candlelight of this room, maybe even whale oil light here, it's kind of stinking plumes of black smoke rising up, kind of stinging your eyes as you approach. And she is just statuesque. She takes a drag off of a long cigarette in one of their holders, looks at you as you approach, batting her just voluptuous eyes at you. Can eyes be voluptuous? Hers are. Yes.
Oh, sorry, I don't. Huh? I was walking over here to talk to you. Again, and I've gotten to that southern accent again. I could be on the deck. Okay, there we go. And all of my thoughts just left my brain right now because I'm just stunned by your beauty. I just don't think I've seen anything quite so beautiful.
Let's see if that works on her. So what I'd like you to do is, do you have any points of express?
Nope.
Okay, do you
I
have
do.
any... Ooh, Faustus does. He
Well,
might
I'm
be
probably
able...
in the background, like, fixing my mustache.
Okay. All right, so, what would you like to roll for this, Robin?
Okay, let me pull the thing because what is foster? What is foster?
Foster is nurturing. Restoring to health,
Restoring to health.
growing.
Oh, okay.
It-
All right,
it
so that
could-
won't
it
help.
could work.
Making things out of raw ingredients. Oh boy.
You could buy her a drink. That
Eh.
could work with nurture.
Yeah, okay. I'll buy her a drink with foster and ingenuity.
Okay, foster and ingenuity, looking for a creative way to lower her guard. Sure, I'll allow it.
All right. I would like to spend a passion on this if I
Ooh.
could.
Sure, that sounds good to me. Go ahead, that'll
So
add...
adds an extra 2.
Yep, it does.
It
Yeah.
adds 2 and 5 and 6s.
5s and
Okay.
6s.
Yes.
That's
All
pretty
right. Let's go. Okay, I tied. It's fine when it ties, right?
It's fine when it ties.
I rolled 3 and 3.
3, okay, so that is a triumph.
Oh,
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, in this
so-
system, 3 successes is like an exceptional success called a triumph, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so long as you don't have more gloom than
As long as
else.
okay, if you don't have more, okay. I thought if
More.
the glue, I didn't know if it yeah.
Nope,
Yeah,
it's-
Yeah, they don't subtract. They just like, if they're more, then they overcome. I
Yes,
guess.
then it then overcomes. Okay, that's fair.
so basically, if you drown your successes
Yeah.
in the gloom. So, what would you like to have happen for your triumph?
So I think LJ sidles up to the bar, says that, and then just grabs a glass, several bottles of liquor, a garnish, and just without breaking eye contact, pours this random drink for her that just tastes amazing.
How did you know that I like my martinis that way?
You just kind of look like that. You give me the vibe of classy and sophisticated, but then a little bit spicy as well.
I am a little spicy. It's so nice of you to notice. And that's when you feel you'll hear a noise come over from her stool. It's the sound of a heel hitting the ground. And then a moment later, the feeling of the tip of a toe running up the back of your leg. I normally don't like blue collar. Hands are a little too calloused, but she leans forward. You can hear the creak of the old leather on the stool. Yours looks soft enough.
It's all about taking care of them, right?
Mm-hmm. What can I do for you? I'm Dixie. Dixie Honeyford.
LJ Bartlett. I've recently been relocated up to the Crow. Robin's forgetting the name right now because my brain.
Crowscroft Manor.
I'm been hired out here to help her fix Crowscroft Manor.
Are you a Ghostbuster?
Not normally, but if you play your cards right.
As much as busting makes me feel good, I'm not going anywhere near that place. In fact, most of the people around here won't either. All the people in the village. Oh, it's haunted. And if it's got ghosts, baby, it's got the ruin. Story goes that, well, some stories say that back before the Countess Valeska lived in Crowscroft, the manor was owned by some of the Gald Parks. Lord Hartford, Lady Matilda. Story is that Lord Hartford caught the ruint. He died, of course. And now he still stalks the grounds looking for easy prey. Are you easy prey, LJ?
I would say I'm easy, but I'm not prey.
Well, I'm happy to find out about that. Just not up there. When you're not working, I sing here 3 nights a week.
You have the most amazing voice.
You should hear what it sounds like in private.
I am a plumber, so I've been known to clean out some pipes pretty good.
I'm really curious. I wonder what that accent will sound like when you... And as she's saying that, you're going to hear, "Hey, what'd we miss? Sorry, we were getting drinks for everybody." Duke's going to come over with Faustus. "You guys got acquainted?"
Yes, very well acquainted, Miss Daisy over here.
Daisy, your set's
Honey.
on. Huniford.
Huniford, thank you.
Hunniford. And that was
Yeah.
generated on its own. That wasn't me doing a Bond girl thing. But it could be.
Dixie?
Dixie, yeah.
Dixie, not Daisy. Whoopsies.
Yeah, Dixie. Could be Daisy.
Thank you.
No, Cal made a great joke in our private chat that I think I think Michael saw it too.
Yes.
But
No, I saw it. I was trying to ignore it and stay in character.
I could tell that she
I was too
spent a
busy trying to
willpower.
not look at you, Cal, because
I spent a willpower
It's
to
fair.
power through that joke.
Spend the willpower. Do it. Okay. So with that, you and Faustus and Duke and Dixie are well acquainted. You've heard a little bit about the trouble that you are going to have around here. Now, while you were doing that, Faustus, what were you doing besides grabbing a pint alongside Duke, who's a good old boy, pushing about
Probably-
30?
Probably working his way through a bowl of peanuts.
And as you're doing that, a man's going to kind of glower down at you. He has the opposite facial hair as you. Just a broad chin strap that turns his head into a big target. Honestly, he looks like he's trying to be a lion, but is failing halfway there, and now kind of just looks like a chubby gazelle. He leans over. "Saw you driving that car outside."
Yes, it is my employer's car. It is very nice. You like it?
"Employer? Who you working for?"
I'm sorry, I haven't introduced myself yet. Faustus?
"Well, that's a weird name. What kind of name is Faustus?
He'll hold his hand out.
You saying fast ass?"
I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name.
Pablo Rand.
Ah, it is nice to meet you, Pablo.
You work for them lords up there, huh?
Yes, I do.
You're one of them glove and key boys, huh?
Yes, I have gloves and I have
Ooh.
keys.
La-da-da, we're with the glove and key.
I'm sorry, did I say something to offend you?
Your type says something to offend me, and the type you work for have been screwing us for years. Well, we had enough of it. I happen to be a proud fellow of the rivet and bellows. I'm a bricklayer. Oh, good one at that. But
Yes, you appear to be a lovely representative of a brick.
now see, why can't your people be that nice?
I am one of my people, and I am being nice.
No, the people you work for. Real shit heels. They ain't paying us fair living wages. We've been fighting for it for years. The glove and key are blocking it.
I'm new in town, so I'm not really up on all of the latest comings and goings.
Well,
Could I interest you in a peanut?
oh no, I can't. I'm allergic. Mostly. I mean, well, I guess I can have a peanut. I'm not allergic, because peanuts are legumes. I'm actually allergic to walnuts, so that's probably fine. I generally try to have a nut-free diet just to be sure, although I know peanuts technically not a... Okay, but so long as my husband don't find out.
Is he here?
Somewhere around here. Supposed to be getting us drink. Now look, if you're a decent feller, you seem like a decent feller, you got a nice bit of lip candy there, I would say you have a chance to make a difference, and you should do it.
You mean with my mustache?
Well, no, with the thing underneath it, your mouth. You can go talk to some of them stuck-up aristocrats. You can make them give us better wages for hard work. We put sweat and blood and piss and vinegar and honey and...
Faustus will look at his beer.
Rhubarb? Anyway.
Is that what I was tasting?
We put a lot of work into keeping everything up around here. We just deserve a fair shake.
You're not responsible for the roads around here, are you?
No, I'm a mason. You want Genevieve. Genevieve is responsible for road maintenance. He points across the bar where you'll see a 60-year-old woman who's built like a Schwarzenegger in the middle of an arm wrestling contest with Duke. Duke is not
She looks yes, she looks like she's responsible for all the roads. Well,
ow.
Have you been up to Crowscroft Manor recently?
I mean, ain't nobody been up to Crowscroft Manor recently.
Well, that's where my employers have taken roost, and I mean, me and my friend LJ, turn to LJ and wave.
LJ is not paying attention. She's in the middle of flirting right now.
Yep, so I'm probably waving at the back of her head. We figured we'd come down here and let our hair down and meet the locals. And from what I've seen so far, you are all lovely individuals, and I'm sure that my employers would love to hear about your potential future for room for employment. You said Mason. Do you have a card or a?
No, you just check. You just check over at the Mason Hall and, well, at the, I mean, not Mason Hall, but at the Rivet and Bellows, and you know, I'll be ready to go out.
Well, then perhaps I can come back and we can discuss your future.
I look forward to that. Maybe.
By the way, I should probably point out I like your beard. It's well groomed.
Hey, thank you. I'm a married man, though.
Well, then your husband is very lucky.
Why ain't you just a gentleman? Why can't they all be like you?
I told you, I'm very nice.
Well, that's definitely the case. And you'll feel a big hand come on your shoulder. Just, hey, we should probably check in with LJ.
Yeah, that's probably a good thing. I can't stand the clientele around here. Let's get the hell out of here.
All right. And with that, you went and grabbed LJ. But that's not all that was happening. Back at the manor, as you were heading back that night. Moira, What are you and Willard doing? It's been a couple of nights. So you're taking a appraisal of the inside of the manor. What would you be doing?
Yes. Making sure that we prioritize things appropriately. Like, Willard asked whether we wanted stuff done quickly or to put the quality into it, and I think the answer is both. As you know the triangle where you can have it done fast, good, or cheap,
Mhm.
and we have the money to do the other two. So
This is true. You actually do have some money.
yeah. But part of the reason she was so insistent on a gardener being a part of it is that the outside needs to look really good, and then the inside can also be like done up after that, right? Like, we want the neighbors to appreciate that the building has been transformed.
Mm-hmm. So it's getting on into the evening right now, and you can see that your gardener, Oren O'Shea, is working outside, taking a look at the old topiary. There's actually a lovely row of these, basically like box hedges that run away from one of the back balconies down across what will be, when it's full again, a swimming pool. This is a fantastic little country estate. At least it will be once you get things up and running. And as you're looking at this, the sun is cresting down below the horizon, and the moon is already in the sky. And as darkness begins to settle on the ground, and blue haze begins to fill the area around Crowscroft, you will hear something echoing through the halls. A banging. A loud bang that echoes from somewhere in the heart of the house. Loud. Like someone striking a pipe. Or a bit of brickwork shifting and falling.
Must be those mice.
Right. The pipes and what have you. Something about the boiler, like making that banging sound when the pressure doesn't. I don't know. Cousin, I know that you want to do all of the things everywhere, but maybe we can. I know I'm more of the numbers person, but maybe we can cut one of the corners that you.
Willard, I know
I can show you the numbers, but I don't know if that means anything to you.
Not particularly. Cousin, I know your standing in the family doesn't particularly hold your attention. But this is my chance. This is my chance to make something of myself, and I will not screw it up. So we will spend what money we need to do to make this a place to host galas or invite artists.
So I know that's not something that you've ever needed to worry about, but sometimes there isn't enough money to do everything that you want. And when you spend more money than your new estate would make, it's then we would have less money.
What corners do you wish to cut?
Well, you want to do, well, we have the gardener here already, and you want to keep the gardener on as groundskeeper?
Groundskeeper, yes. I will probably take over some of the gardening once there's actually a flower garden. I do like doing that. Tending.
And, well, we obviously need to keep Faustus.
Yes.
Can't be seen without a driver. What about the... You really do need all of your women of clothery and...
I only have one. The other two clean the house.
Okay.
And yes, I can't get into my evening dresses without Douglas.
Without Douglas?
Addressed by last name. Stella Douglas.
Without Douglas, I didn't know that you were seeing
Stella.
someone. Oh, right. Oh, she's nice.
Yes, and the proper term of address is by her last name, Douglas.
And what do we need? Okay, I guess we could skip the chef. Do we? I don't suppose that we need a garden hermit, so I can cross that off.
Was that truly on your list? Garden hermit.
Well, everyone else has one. Okay, never mind. Scratching garden
We can
hermit off.
talk about that later. I don't think it's on priority list A.
Okay, and what kind of chef are you looking for, cousin?
Someone who can make... What's the name of that cake? What's the name of that cake that Mother's chef always made?
Cake?
There's a cake. It's strawberries. It's light. It's very fresh. I do love that.
Well, Faustus makes quite the crepe.
This is true.
So
I have had his
perhaps
cooking.
when and it's not like he'll be driving, you know, when you're not transport. So maybe we can kind
Yes.
of. He could be doorman as well.
Yes. And we're not hosting
Mauve.
any large parties right now, so we can...
Well, there we go. We could employ Faustus as the cook for when you need him.
What an excellent
Okay.
compromise, cousin. I'm so glad we had this talk.
I see. And the basement banging sound.
Yes.
LJ hasn't fixed that yet.
No, I thought she had.
How often is the banging sound, storyteller?
Not terribly.
Okay, not enough to keep anyone awake.
No, occasionally, though, you'll notice that it might wake you in the middle of the night. Just a sudden bang.
Well, that's terrifying. Oh, I'm not completely useless. I'm going to go and turn the boiler off.
Okay. With that, you separate to go do your due diligence, to turn the boiler off, to leave Lady Moira to wonder what the name of that delicious cake was.
I never got any special fancy strawberry cake.
Did you earn it?
Well, I did have the misfortune of being born fourth or fifth or whatever it was.
You head down into the belly of the manor. Down to where the boiler is. It's a decrepit little basement. The beams definitely in need of replacement that hold up the corner. And as you approach, you'll see the old cantankerous boiler there. But perhaps strangest of all, as you step down to the basement, you'll hear a clang echo throughout the guts of the house above. But as you approach the boiler, you're going to find it quite out of operation. Cool
Is
to
it
the
even
touch.
warm?
It is not. It is frigid and covered with a layer of mildew.
Gung, 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 gung.
Yep. It's a porcelain
even
boiler. No, it's not.
Oh, great. Okay. Boiler.
And as you pull out your list and prepare, the camera is going to pull back up through the floor, deeper into the house away from you. Where the audience is going to see an old, bricked over section of wall, long forgotten by anyone else, by anyone living. And against it, a long forgotten, split-skinned hand will press against the stone as the flesh ruptures with ancient pus and rotten meat. And that's where we're going to pick up next episode, here on Our Brilliant Ruin.
Sorry, what? Sorry, what?
What?
Sorry, what?
Say what?
Say.
All right, so folks, what do you think of this game so far?
It's great.
It's got
It's
such
great,
good
yeah.
vibes. It's got vibes.
I love the vibes.
It's kind of like
Yeah.
it's kind of like a zoom in on like World of Darkness's like influence. Like you role play the background dots.
I like that.
You role play the mentor and the contacts and the background actions. Background.
Absolutely.
Like actions.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I like that.
Well, and as you saw earlier, we had Justin Achille in the chat, who was was the head designer of some of my favorite editions of Vampire, of revised. He is the reason that we still have that issue with XP charts, because he has one XP chart that he touted, and the correct one in my opinion. But it's so cool because you can see the
He's
fingerprint.
not in the chat anymore, but
Whatever. He'll, if he sees it later, leave me a comment. But like it's so cool seeing the evolution of this type of storytelling game through the generations of play style, right? I like this. I really like this. And not just because this is a sponsored game. That doesn't hurt. But I gotta admit, I'm really excited about this, folks. I genuinely am. And I'm really surprised at how good the intro starter story is. I was worried when I first read its blurb that it wasn't going to have enough to really keep going for 3 episodes and really have enough meat to it. But after reading it in depth and prepping with the cast, I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I really do. I'm very impressed with it. I'm very impressed with all of you.
And
You guys are all
I was
phenomenal.
gonna say I'm super excited about all our characters now.
Yeah.
I didn't think
yeah.
Mike was going to be able to keep that going, but I love him. I love
It's
Faustus.
Sorry.
Faustus and Furious.
Not sorry.
Sorry, not sorry.
Faust and the Furious.
So,
The Faust and the Furious.
Faust and the Furious. Folks, if you like our little game of Our Brilliant Ruin, go and back the Kickstarter right now. You can find it right now. You can find the link below, or if you're watching it live, you can see it in our chat right now. Just search Our Brilliant Ruin. It's the first link on Google presently. It's fantastic. This game is going to have a lot of legs. At the very least, go watch the trailer because it's even cooler than what we did today. But a big thank you to Studio Hermitage for supporting us and for sponsoring this game. We have 2 more episodes of this coming, and then I'm going to do an episode to review this game and tell you about my experience running it. We're going to be getting a little more into the weeds next episode with a climactic third game that's going to bring it all together. Those games are going to be running on the 7th of March, so a Thursday, and the 14th of March, a Thursday. And they're going to be up on YouTube within 24 hours because we got a Kickstarter to help promote, folks. We got to help get that Kickstarter to its goal. So if you liked this game, go check out the Kickstarter. Go back it, and hey, tell them that we sent you, if you can. Either way, that's really cool. But thank you to Studio Hermitage. Thank you, players, for being here. And we will see you next time here at Our Brilliant Ruin. Good night from Dork Tales. Bye, everyone.